The next cycle that we are going to study is the carbon cycle. Of all the elements that are known to us, carbon is one of the most important constituent because it makes up a variety of compounds in living organisms. All those compounds which contain carbon are called as organic compounds. So as you can see, all the foodstuffs which contain carbohydrates, proteins and fats are the carbon compounds. Substances in daily use such as plastic, medicines, soaps, detergents, toothpaste are also carbon compounds. Plants have cell wall which is made up of cellulose, which is also a carbon compound. The nucleic acids like the DNA and the RNA are also carbon compounds. In plants, the food is stored in the form of starch, that is a carbohydrate, which is again a carbon compound. In animals, food is stored in the form of glycogen, which is again a carbon compound. So, food, clothes, medicines, books and many other things are all based on this versatile element called as carbon. In addition, all living structures are carbon based. Since the element carbon is of immense importance in our day-to-day life, let us see how this element is circulated in the ecosystem. Source of carbon. The carbon dioxide which is present in the atmosphere is the main source of carbon. What are the reservoirs of carbon dioxide? What is the meaning of reservoir? Sink or a place where carbon dioxide is accumulated. So, air and water are the main reservoirs of carbon dioxide. That is, we find carbon dioxide mainly in air and water. The percentage of carbon dioxide in the air is 0.03%. Another sink of carbon dioxide is water. In water, carbon dioxide is in the dissolved state. Well, what happens is, the carbon dioxide which is present in the air reacts with the water to form carbonic acid. And this carbonic acid reacts with the limestone which is present in water to form bicarbonate and carbonate ions. Let us see the life processes that are related to carbon dioxide. So photosynthesis and respiration are the two main life processes that are involved in carbon cycle. As we have already studied in oxygen cycle, that green plants can prepare their own food in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, where carbon dioxide combines with water in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll to form carbohydrates, which is again a carbon compound. We have also studied the photosynthetic reaction in oxygen cycle. 6CO2 plus 12H2O in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll gives C6H12O6, that is a carbohydrate, it's a glucose, plus water 6H2O plus oxygen is released during the process of photosynthesis. Since green plants store food in their body in the form of carbohydrates, green plants form a source of food to the consumers. So as you can see here, the producers, that is the plants, are eaten by the herbivores. Here you can see the herbivores are eating the plants. The herbivores in turn are eaten by the carnivores. So what is happening? The carbon which is present in the body of plants is passed on to the body of herbivores, and from herbivores carbon is passed on to the carnivore. So what is happening here? Carbon is passed from one living organism to another living organism in the form of food chain. Then respiration takes place in all the living organisms, that is both plants and animals respire, and when they respire, oxidation of glucose takes place. So this is the reaction. This reaction also was studied by us in oxygen cycle. Glucose combines with oxygen in the cell and forms carbon dioxide and water to release a large amount of energy. So the carbon dioxide which was taken from the atmosphere by the living organisms, that is the plants, is once again returned back to the atmosphere. Now you must have observed some similarity in the slides that we have seen in the carbon cycle, isn't it? It is like both oxygen and carbon cycle are interrelated with each other, isn't it? We have seen all these points happening in the oxygen cycle also. So also now this process of decomposition which takes place in living organisms. When plants and animals die, the decomposition of the dead bodies of the plants and animals takes place. And who brings about this decomposition? It is the microorganisms like the bacteria and the fungi. Here the decomposers, they convert the dead bodies, the complex dead bodies of plants and animals into simple substances. So the organic compounds which are present in the dead bodies of plants and animals is once again converted into inorganic compounds by the decomposers, and during this process CO2 is released back into the atmosphere. Fermentation. Fermentation means conversion of complex organic compounds into simple organic compounds. It is brought about by microorganisms like yeast. This respiration is an anaerobic respiration where the microorganisms respire in the absence of oxygen to obtain energy for carrying out this process. As I said, baker's yeast is one of the common anaerobically respiring microorganisms. See the reaction, see the fermentation reaction that takes place. This is C6H12O6, which is glucose, you can say. It gets converted into carbon dioxide CO2 plus ethyl alcohol C2H5OH plus energy is released during this process. So in the process of fermentation, CO2 is released, that is CO2 is returned back to the atmosphere. Fossil fuels. Fossil fuels are formed when plants and animals die and they get buried deep inside the earth's crust. Now these plants and animals must have existed on the earth somewhere in the remote past. But after their death, what happens to their dead body? The dead body gets accumulated in the cover of the sediments, or it gets trapped, you can say. The dead body gets trapped in the cover of the sediments, that is, it gets trapped in the soil. Now, since the dead body of the plant or the animal gets trapped in the soil, decomposition is not possible because oxygen is not available for the process of decomposition. The overlying pressure of the sediments does not allow oxygen to come in contact with the dead body of the plant or the animal. So the pressure of the sediment squeezes out all the water from the dead bodies of the plants and animals, and what we get is carbon rich fossil fuel, as you can see here. Fossilized forests have resulted in the formation of coal beds. Petroleum and cooking gas are also forms of fossil fuels. When wood and fossil fuel undergo combustion, that is burning, energy is released along with carbon dioxide. So once again, the carbon dioxide which was taken from the environment or from the atmosphere is returned back to the atmosphere. So this is a flowchart of carbon cycle, and you must know how to draw the flowchart of this carbon cycle. So let us try to recollect all the points that we have discussed now in carbon cycle, and also try to put these points in the form of a flowchart. So let us begin with the carbon dioxide which is present in the atmosphere and the carbon dioxide which is dissolved in water. This CO2 which is present in the atmosphere and dissolved water, if you remember, these are the reservoirs of carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is present in the air as well as in water. So whatever, whether the carbon dioxide is present in air or whether the carbon dioxide is present in water, this carbon dioxide will be used up by the green plants for photosynthesis, isn't it? So see, carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is used by the green plants for photosynthesis. Okay. Now after the green plants die, the dead bodies of the green plants undergoes decomposition, that is decaying process takes place, or decomposition of the dead bodies of the green plants takes place, and we studied that during the process of decomposition carbon dioxide is released, which is once again returned back to the atmosphere. Now green plants are eaten by animals, that is we studied the green plants are eaten by herbivores and herbivores are eaten by carnivores. So carbon is passed from the green plants to the herbivores and from the herbivores to the carnivores. When both herbivores and carnivores die, that is when animals die, once again the decay or the decomposition of the dead bodies of the animals takes place and carbon dioxide is returned back to the atmosphere. Okay. Now when the green plants are eaten by the animals undergo cellular respiration, or cellular respiration of animals takes place, during which carbon dioxide is formed, which is once again returned back to the atmosphere. Similarly, green plants also respire, and during the process of respiration in green plants, once again carbon dioxide is formed, which is returned back to the atmosphere. When plants and animals die and their dead bodies get trapped into the layer of sediments, then after many years fossil fuel is formed, and when fossil fuel undergoes burning or combustion, carbon dioxide is returned back to the atmosphere. So we started with carbon dioxide, which is present in air and in dissolved water and dissolved in water. This carbon dioxide is taken up by green plants because they undergo photosynthesis. So food will be produced, the green plants will be eaten by animals, animals respire, CO2 will be released back into the atmosphere. Green plants will also undergo respiration, CO2 will be returned back to the atmosphere. When green plants die, they undergo decomposition, CO2 is returned back to the atmosphere. When animals eat green plants and when they die, CO2 is returned back to the atmosphere. When plants and animals die and their bodies get trapped in the sediments, after many years fuel is formed. Fuel undergoes combustion, CO2 gas is formed. Okay, so this is how we will have to present the carbon cycle, which is very important.